Hi everyone, this is Koki Iijima. Before we get started, what do you think is the most efficient way to get better at English? Personally, for me, I think it is to have communication with foreigners. And in this class, I guess most of us were able to do so because we either studied or lived abroad. But there are still many people who cannot afford to do so but wants to get better at English. And for such people, Eikaiwa schools are quite a practical tool, and that is what I will talk about today. And this is how the presentation will proceed. Okay, so talking about language schools, there actually are more than 10,000 foreign language schools in Japan. And within that, if you look at the Eikaiwa schools market, you can see that it isn't doing so well as it decreased by 10.8% in 2020 compared to 2019. But in such market though, there actually are various Eikaiwa schools in existence, like you can see on the right side. I'm sure some of these are very popular and you have heard of it. And there also are various websites that rank these schools every year. But in this presentation, I will only focus on the ranking done by Oricon since it's the most popular and the most reliable. And looking at the website, you can see that Berlitz was ranked first in the overall ranking of 2022 this year. And also, if you look at, as you can see on the right side image, Berlitz was ranked in the top 3 for various categories such as teachers, curriculums, environments, and so on. So, looking at this fact, I came up with this question. Why is Berlitz ranked number 1? Well, let's find out. The first answer to this is to that the demand for adults is rather high compared to young people in the current English market. And if you look at the first graph done by Yano Research Institute, you can see that the business needs for English is high compared to other categories as it is highlighted in yellow. And to give that a small evidence to make it a little more clear, there is the second graph done by Janet. And you can see that most of those who use Eikaiwa schools frequently are in their 20s to their 40s. Also next, if you look at these two images from Oricon, you can see that the level of satisfaction of those in their 30s to 40s are very high, as the former is ranked first and the latter is ranked second. And the next, the things that are making it possible for Berlitz to rank that high are the characteristics unique to Berlitz. First is about the teachers in Berlitz, and one, teachers of Berlitz are experienced and specialized people for English learning, as they are people who have passed through an exam that only has 7% acceptance rate. And also next is that there are more than 1,200 teachers from 70 different countries of America, Europe, and Asia. The third characteristic is that the teachers are different for every lessons. This is so that students can experience talking with people from different backgrounds in every lessons. I personally thought this is very great because if you're to do a business abroad, there is a high chance you will interact with many people from different countries and different backgrounds. The next thing I want to point out is the ways lessons are done and their purposes. One other characteristic is that Berlitz focus on a short-term achievement. I think adults are well attracted to this because if they're doing a business, they would want to be able to at least speak something in order to quickly move to different countries or maybe serve foreign customers or partners. And lastly, there is this Berlitz method. It is like an only Berlitz system of education. And to talk about its characteristics, the first is that they set a goal in every lessons. It helps students clearly visualize what they need to do each time of their class. And the other two, use of practical role plays and aiming cultural understandings are also both very important as first it helps students to learn English in a business-like situation, and because understanding culture of the people of a country he/she works will be also very important. Okay, so to conclude, Berlitz is ranked number one for the level of satisfaction because they understand the current market situation and they were able to provide lessons in accordance to that, meaning that they were able to see that there is a high need for adults in the current English market, and the curriculums provided by Berlitz are ones that attract adults that are working. Okay, to talk about limitations though, I thought there is a need to provide more accurate evidence to prove the market situation. And I would say that the JNet's information are quite inaccurate since it's a bit old in the 2013, I guess. And it would have been a better research if I was able to make more detailed comparison with the other schools. Yeah. Okay, so to summarize at last, I asked the question, why is Berlitz ranked first? And the answer to it was because they understood the market well and they provided service accordingly. And to give that an evidence, the two supporting ideas were one, the two graphs on the current market situation and how adults' needs are high. And second was the characteristic of Berlitz that are very good and meaningful for adults. And to talk about limitations at last, I talked about the accuracy of the evidence and the comparison with the other Eikaiwa schools. And this is it for my presentation, and here are my references. Thank you for listening. Bye.